Alright guys, so we are going to do the rear fender chop kit and the Wolfstorm fender liners on here. So removing these fender liners and the fenders are very similar to the front ones. All of these plastic rivets, I'm going to use a punch tool, and I'm basically just going to push through the center of all of these plastic rivets and be able to pull them out that way. If any of them have any sort of difficulty, I'll just take a drill and I'll drill out the center. So it does take a little bit of pressure, but just take it, push in the center, and that pushes them out. And I'm saying that it requires some force. Don't expect this to be easy. You can always drill them, but this is an option. So I'm going to get the rest of these out here, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so once you get all those rivets pressed out, you're just going to grab a tool here, Christmas tree rivet or whatever removal tool, the plastic rivets. There's one here, one on the front side, and one down on the back side. So we're going to pull those out. My tool doesn't do well on these recessed ones, so I'm probably just going to get a pair of needle nose pliers and pop those out. I'm not too worried about keeping them because we're doing a fender chop kit, so all this stuff on the inside's going away anyway. If you are reusing yours, you may want to take a little bit more time or have some replacement ones available to you. But like I said, just going to open mine up, grab them with the pliers, and we'll just grab the head of it right off, like so. 2 more to go. All right, after you get all those 4 rivets out, 8mm screws, 3 of them right here on the back. We'll go ahead and get those unscrewed. Got our socket. So let's just hammer those out real quick. So these screws that come out, the 8mm, and they're just like a screw head, pointed ones. These 3, keep them. We're going to need them for the fender liner, so don't lose those. So once you got all the plastic pop rivets pressed out, you got the Christmas tree hangers out, and the 3 screws in the back out, you're going to have to pull these plastic rivets out. Okay, so I'm doing a fender chop kit, so I'm not too worried about scratching this up. If you guys are keeping this, you may want to be a little more careful with pulling these out. So you can pry them out with, oh, I almost had it. You can pry it out with a trim removal tool. Kind of looks like that. Or you can just use needle nose pliers, combination of both. Whatever works best for you to fit the needs to get these out. So let's get the rest of those out here real quick. All right, we're losing some light here, but now that you got all these rivets out, you can actually just grab the fender liner in the back, pull it down, and these all come out. Oh, I missed one Christmas tree tab. That's okay. We'll take care of it that way. So fender liner's out. So the next thing that we need to take care of here is all these body clips. So just a pair of needle nose pliers, pinch the backs here as you're pulling it out, one at a time all the way around. I believe this one right here, third one from the bottom. This one is really hard to get to unless you have a really long pair of needle nose pliers. So you can always just yank and break this one. If you have spares available, you can replace it. They run about $1 a piece. You can get them off Amazon. You can get them from the Jeep dealership. If you're really lazy and you don't care and you just want to replace them all, you can just grab the whole fender, yank, and it'll pop right off. But let's see if we can pull this off in one piece. So I got you down underneath with me. Start with these bottom clips to the rear of the Jeep. Bottom clips all the way through. One's on the back side of this. And once you get these ones loose, each time you come up with a pair of pliers, they just come right off. Okay, we're already halfway through. So we'll go back up top and go to the other side here real quick and finish taking this off. Just follow the clips all the way around. Alrighty, so I started pulling it off the other side, and as I was flexing, I ended up popping a couple of the clips. Again, not a big deal, especially if you have the replacement clips for them. So. You can see I pulled a little too hard and I broke a couple of these clips. We'll just pull them out, and I have plenty of spare ones to replace the ones that I broke. Alright, so extra part of the video here, if you want to do a fender chop where you want to gut the inside, this is what you're going to end up doing. These rivets, they're pretty easy to push out when you're mounted on onto the Jeep, but when they're down like this, the fender flexes way too much. So you're just going to take a drill bit, one right about the size of the middle part of the plastic rivet. Drill it out. Okay. That side, the rivet's already out. Come around to this other side here. Then we're going to drill these two rivets out here. And it doesn't hurt to go a little bigger. It's not the end of the world. Okay, there's those. And then I got the rivet on the other side that I pushed through already. So let's get those rivets popped out. And again, we are going to go with our trusty little trim removal tool here. And then I got a pair of pliers that were just here somewhere. There they are, right in front of me. So, rivets that we just drilled out. Trim removal tool. See the rivets pulled up. Grab the rivet from underneath. There you go, it's pulled out. Same thing with the next one. So we're actually trying against parts of the Jeep that we're keeping now. So we want to be a little bit more careful, even though this is the side that is going to be pressed against the Jeep itself. So don't want to be destroying this part here. So a pair of pliers, and there's the piece of it. Flip this over here. So when you're working with your fender, especially painted fender, just have a blanket or something like that on the ground so you're not scratching it, messing up the finish. back in here, grab this last rivet from the outside that I didn't pull out, but it's pulled out now. Here's one of the little support bracket pieces for the strength. Don't need that. Around to the other side that we had already drilled out. Again, we're prying against a piece that we're going to be keeping, so let's try to be a little more careful with that and just try and drill it out a little bit more. Okay. Get it from the other side. Yeah, we can. So I just pried it from the back side of it here. The rivet is now standing up, and I can grab it with the end of those pliers. It's out. We don't need that. So this is the other support piece. There's a rivet right here that we did drill out. It's attached to the inner liner that we are getting ready to tear out anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So when we start tearing out the inner liner here, let's see which side I want to start on. Let's start on this side here. So inside here, there's little 3 lines. They're kind of like plastic welded, like ultrasonic welded back together between the mold piece on the inside and then your body colored fender or your actual fender on the outside over here. I found it easier. There's a little tab right there that kind of sticks out on and round. I don't know if you actually have to do this, but in all the ones that I've done, I found it to be beneficial to just cut the very end of that off. That way when you are starting to pry, or when you're starting to split this apart, you don't have to worry about trying to get it to slide out of the hole. So I just do it for the first one. I'm not too worried about the rest of them after the first one. But come on. Come out of there. So just cut a little corner like that off of it. So when you are pulling this apart and splitting it, let me make sure we're still in frame here. And a lot of what I just filmed is probably out of frame. I'm sorry about that. So when we are starting to split this, you just want to go nice and easy and slow. You don't want to bend the trim piece too much because you'll end up cracking some of the paint. But there you can hear some of the plastic welds starting to split. Be firm with it, but don't try to like break it. If that makes any sense to you. So right there, we are starting to get this apart here. Rather unsettling sound, isn't it? But don't worry, all you're doing is splitting those plastic welds. Hopefully we're back in frame again. Yep. Okay. All you're doing is hitting those plastic welds and separating the inside from the outside. And eventually, here's your inner liner. And you got your outer. Your next step is you have all these tabs all along here. Just gonna take a utility knife. Try not to like cut into the body side, but the tabs are set more to the inside. on the fender. And without cutting yourself, you're going to slice those off. Try it from a different angle. Bring you guys. Whoa. Sorry. Bring you guys down here. So, you got this right here. Line the utility knife up. And mine's pretty dull. If you have a sharp one, it'll be easier. Just like that, it's gone. Do that for every single tab along the way. Alrighty, so after you get all those tabs cut off, you're just gonna hit it with just a little bit of sandpaper or a file, just to clean up the rough edges here. And again, sand more towards the inside, because if you sand to the outside, that is your painted part that's exposed. So I'm just gonna go and sand all these real quick. Once that's all sanded, that's ready to go back on the truck. Get those fender liners installed and then click those back on. We're done. All right, so these rear fender liners from Wolfstorm come in 3 pieces and no instructions. I'm telling you, it takes a little while to kind of figure all this out, but basically we're going to be building a box. So there's 3 holes here, 3 holes here, 4 holes here. We are going to find the piece that mounts up right here. All the holes line up. One of the ways that you can tell is these cutouts, the wide ends, are going to point towards the center of this box. Okay. So in here, bag B05 has these short screws. Bag W11 has washers. So screw, washer. Bag W9 has little lock washers. And bag B05, oh, I'm sorry, not B05, N09 N09 has the nuts. Okay, so we're going to take this, line this all together, and we're just going to put in a few of the nuts, or a few of the screws here. Put in a few of the screws here, the screw side inside, with a washer, lock washer on the outside, and then the nut on the outside here. And we're just going to get that started. Butterfingers. We're just going to get that started so it holds in place. So again, I'm going to grab another screw, another washer, a locking nut, or sorry, a locking washer, and then a nut. Okay, screw with the flat washer, we are going to go from the inside here, we're just going to feed it through, goes around to the outside, locking washer, nut, and then we're just doing finger tight for right now. And once we get them all in, we will tighten them down. So I'll catch up with you guys when I finish putting all these together. We got, what, 14 of them to do. So I'm just going to get these all together here really quick, not bore you with it. Alrighty, I just wanted to show on the driver's side here, there's this purge valve. It's normally mounted right here, but typically whenever fender liners are put in, it's moved. So basically, there's a joint right here at the bottom of that, and you can separate it right here. So it's normally mounted right here, but when you separate from that joint and then pull it from its Christmas tree post right here, you can take this line and push it behind this hose, which then will make it come up right here. And then you can take this from its previous location right here and stick it behind all of this, and then you can zip tie it into place and connect all the hoses and stuff. So that way that stays up in an elevated position and then out of the way so the fender liner can actually fit right here. Alrighty, so we've built the fender liner, we've moved it and put it into place here. Might be easier for you to take your tire off and then you can slide it in. Mine was a little tight in wedging it in underneath here. You can get it in, it's just a matter of moving things around. There are these longer Allen screws that come in the kit. Those will screw through these openings where your factory fender mounting clips went. Haven't quite figured out exactly how the fenders are gonna, how secure the factory fenders are gonna be if they're missing these fender clips. A couple of them up here, 2 of them in the back, 2 of them in the front. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when you get it. I mean, there's still plenty of other ones. So I'm just putting these ones in finger tight for right now to get these liners that are in. And then there's openings for 3 more screws across the bottom in the back here. Those are those factory screws that were holding the stock fender liner. So we'll take those and we'll screw those back in. Let's see if I can bring you up here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing here. There you go. So the ones that you took out of here are these ones that are just basically screws. We are going to reuse those in these 3 spots here. And then the last one. Alrighty, and then with an 8mm, we will get these tightened back in. Alrighty, and with our Allen 4mm, we'll just get these ones tightened in here. There we go. That's pretty solid. Now let's try to get the fender back on there. Alright, so I went ahead and removed all the trim clips that go wherever these screws were. Last thing is, this fender liner actually blocks this hole, which this guide pin right here would normally go in there. There's a couple other ones that are not obstructed, so the only way to get this on is if we remove that. So let's go ahead and just get rid of that piece. Clean it up the best we can here. Alright. Now let's line up these fender clips and they should just click right in. Now, I did a fender chop with this as well while I did this, so that's why a lot of this internal stuff is missing. So I went ahead and chopped all that off to match my fronts. So, I don't know. You know what I'm going to try? I'm actually going to try and pull these screws out, these Allen head screws, and then screw them through the openings where these fender clips are. I think that might have it hold better. I mean, pretty tight as it is, but let me try that and see if that's a better option. All right, we'll try this again. I just have the 3 screws fastened on the bottom, just hold the fender in place. I have all the screws that go around the outside removed because I'm going to put the fender on first and then put the screws in through the gaps in the fender. So let's go ahead and get this placed in. To where it belongs. Alright, and now we'll take these screws. Yeah, that's much better. We'll take these screws and we'll feed them in through where the fender clips used to be, and then these Allen head screws will actually hold the fender in place. I like this much better than the way I had it before. So, and I think this is the way that it was actually designed. All right, and there is the Wolfstorm rear fender liner. A little bit of vibration up against the body here, but you really have to press about a 1/4 inch. I mean, I can stick my finger in between that, so that's really whacking there. But that's in there. You don't have to do a fender chop kit if you don't want to. When you're installing this, I went ahead and chopped the rear fender to match the chopped front fender. So, got those on there. Got these ones on there. There's a little bit of flex. When you gut the inside of these, they lose a little bit of their structural integrity, so to say, but that's actually still on there pretty tight. So, not bad. The other side, whoa, tripping over stuff here. The other side is exactly the same as the driver's side, only you don't have to deal with the fuel system stuff right there. So the other side's actually easier. But, like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Take care. Peace.